Hey friends, this is Derek Bros with the Conscious Resistance Network, and today we're going to talk about the Facebook purge, the social media purge that began just over 1 year ago. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you guys to bookmark my website, theconsciousresistance.com. And if you want to join, we are always looking for new contributors. This is not a paid gig, but it's a volunteer position. If you've got content you want to share, essays, vlogs, interviews, articles, whatever it may be, if it's in line with our message, then please reach out to me at derek@theconsciousresistance.com. Also, follow us on all of our alternative social media channels. And if you want to support us, you can do so on Patreon or Subscribe Star. Now, let's get right into it. Just over a year ago, as I said, I think the date was October 11th, Facebook purged hundreds of the most, far-reaching Facebook accounts in the world, really, and definitely in the U.S. Here's the list of the websites that were taken down on Thursday, October 11th, 2018. The Free Thought Project with 3.1 million fans. The Anti-Media with 2.1 million fans. Police to Police, Cop Block, Filming Cops, Rachel Blevins, V is for Voluntary, End the War on Drugs, Mass Report, Get Involved, You Live Here, Press for Truth, America Today, all these amazing pages that were really just reaching so many people in different ways. And you can kind of see there's a consistency here. These seem to be voluntarists, anarchists, libertarians, kind of cop accountability pages, drug war accountability pages. And these were just some of the ones that took place on October. There had been smaller purges taking place before of health pages and other things of that sort, but this was probably the biggest one that hurt the most, at least for my particular circle, because I was writing for the Anti-Media, I was writing for a Free Thought Project. These are good friends of mine, and this was kind of the beginning, or not even the beginning, but it was another step in the killing of the independent media. Some of you may remember by June of 2018 last year, right as I was starting my nationwide speaking tour, the Liberate Your Mind tour, I had lost all of my gigs. Lost my gig writing for Ben Swan, lost my gig writing for Anti-Media, lost my gig writing for Mint Press News, and then eventually for Activist Post, as pretty much every single website had to shut down paying their writers, because once we got our Facebooks taken down, or we were already facing shadow banning and kind of slight censorship, it just became impossible to create any revenue and then to pay any writers. And so I had already been feeling the heat from this, and by the time the purge, as we refer to this, rolled around on October 11th, it was pretty much the end. And I can tell you guys, things haven't gotten any better. And if you've never read this article that I put together, I think it's really instructive. It's called "Is the Purge of Independent Media a Coordinated Attack by the Military-Industrial Complex?" And I think it's pretty clear when you start looking at who Facebook partnered with, the Atlantic Council. We haven't talked about this in a while, but I did do videos on this when it first happened. Look into, I just seriously recommend researching the organization Prop or Not, because Prop or Not was one of the first fake news lists to go around that basically targeted the independent media, claiming that we were Russian bots and these kinds of things. You can see them tweeting right here. Then it expanded from there. There was a list from a Harvard professor that circulated, and I started digging into this. Who are all these people? The Atlantic Council, Prop or Not, and who they're connected to, of course, NATO organizations, but organizations that benefit from keeping the information that we were spreading out of the limelight. Atlantic Council receives funding from the Brookings Institution, Carnegie Endowment, Cato Institute, Council on Foreign Relations, and the Rand Corporation. They are directly funded by, makers of assault weapons as far as the war goes. They're also funded in part by Chevron and the Reuters Foundation, and they receive direct support from the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, and the Energy Department from the U.S. mission to NATO. So altogether, again, they had deleted 500 plus accounts, and then in August of last year, they deleted pages containing, quote, fringe or holistic medicine, including Just Natural Medicine with 1 million followers, Natural Cures Not Medicine with 2.3 million followers, and The People's Awakening with 3.6 million followers. And the same month, Facebook and Twitter deleted pages they claimed were connected to Iran and to Russia. So I really think you need to reread this article if you've never seen my writing on it. And if this is the first time, I'm sure by now you guys have realized. Think about all that's happened in the last year. Some of us are still limping along, but a lot of people that I know who are writers for alternative media websites, independent media websites, have had to go find day jobs. And that might not matter to some of you. They're like, oh, well, I got to work a job. Why don't you got to work a job? These are some of our best researchers out here, writers, people who can put together good content. We were putting them out, and we were reaching hundreds of millions of people. At our height, we were reaching, probably in the billions altogether. A few years back. Of course, that's not really possible anymore with Facebook, and I'm currently dealing with Facebook censorship with my mayoral campaign, which is why I hate Facebook and I don't want to be on it. My point here is, in the last year, I've seen friends try to bring their pages back. For example, the Free Thought Project, they brought Free Thought Project 2.0, and they got it up to a few 100,000 followers, and then Facebook deleted it. Free Thought Project 3.0, same thing, 4.0. And I think they might be on 5.0. And at this point, we're basically been rendered, neutered and almost just ineffective. We're just preaching to the choir. And that's what they wanted to do. They wanted us to stop being able to reach new people randomly and to get them to start questioning things, especially as they're purging independent media voices. Then I did this follow-up video a few days after that, October 24th, 2018. If you haven't seen this one, who is behind the ongoing alt-indie media purge? And I examined the institutions behind the ongoing purge of alternative independent media. And definitely this one's worth your time. Again, the Atlantic Council and some of these other groups. And then just a few weeks after that, by November 5th, Facebook and WhatsApp are shutting down quote-unquote fake news accounts around the world. Of course, Facebook owns WhatsApp. And they're doing this not in just the U.S., but in Brazil, Sweden, India. And I was just doing a kind of a rundown of how this is taking place all around the world. And it's only continued the last couple of years. And as we get closer to the 2020 election, my friends, it's going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. They want to make sure that we do not have the opportunity to influence the election, because we have. I can say this without a doubt, that independent alternative media have influenced past elections through our memes, through our articles, through our social media reach, our live streams. And now we know through leaks from Veritas Project and others that they have tools where they can immediately suppress your live streams. They can shadow ban and hide your pages. And it's only going to get worse, guys. So if you didn't realize this happened last year, it was a sad day for many of us. And I know my friend Carrie Wedler, my friends who are kind of behind the scenes, Aaron and Emma from Mint Press News, my friend Nick, the founder of the Anti-Media, Jake Anderson, so many other good, talented writers and people with other websites have suffered. And if you notice, there's only a few of us still around. Yeah, there's some YouTubers out there, but not many people can really survive doing this anymore. And at one point, we could survive. You could make a living writing articles, spreading truth, and trying to wake people up. And it was a beautiful time. And, now that my campaign is winding down and I'm getting back to focusing on my journalism again, these are the struggles that I have to face. There's not really a lot of opportunity anymore because it's hard to reach people with truth. It's hard to do it these days. I think there are still strategies, and we'll talk about that in future videos, but I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the Facebook purge. It has been 1 year. Let's have a grieving moment, a moment of silence for the independent and alternative media, which is on its deathbed, barely hanging on still at this point. But this also reiterates, my friends, why it's so important for you to support me via Patreon or Subscribestar, because I do not have any more paid gigs at the moment. I'm just dependent on you. And I don't want you to think about it as donations. This is an investment. If you believe in alternative independent media and you like my reports, my investigations, my articles, you see this article here. This is not just a little 200-word article. I put time and energy into these articles. I do the research. I link all my sources and everything. And that's the quality of content that you've come to know from me over the years. So if you want to keep supporting that, please do support via Patreon or Subscribestar or however you choose to. And that's it, guys. It's up to us to keep spreading the word, because without social media, which we know is controlled, then it's up to us as individuals to make sure we spread information. Text it to your friends. Send personal messages. I'm also a big fan of printing things out and going to the streets and talking to people. And I know some of you might not be comfortable with that. I'm not always comfortable with that. I push past it because it's more important than my insecurities. So I encourage you to find new ways to keep reaching people, because it's getting harder and harder to reach new people. And if we're going to continue to grow as people think we have an awakening going on, well, we can't do that alone. We definitely don't have enough people yet. So we need to keep reaching new people every single day. So please find ways to reach people and spread the word about this. The purge has passed 1 year now, but there are still truthers out here, researchers who are trying to wake people up, and I'm one of them. And I appreciate you guys. I couldn't do this without your support. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.